Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Capsule Cast. I am your most magnanimous host, Anthony, with a lot of people today. Actually, my first off, we have my co-host, Destiny, my favorite one.
Hello, everybody.
We have my boss, coach of androids, the legendary Donut.
Hello, everyone.
We have the bubblegum crusader himself, Doorguard, coach of Buu Saga. I guess he doesn't want to talk. That's okay. Hey
Nah,
guys,
bro,
my
why you
name's
calling me
Door.
bubblegum? Fuck you.
You're,
Get your circuit
what is
board
your
ass
team
outta
made
here.
of? See, we're not doing this. What is your team made of?
I mean, there's Popovich. He's not bubblegum.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
brother,
leader of
respect the
Popovich and
MVP.
friends. And finally, we have, Macho. He's back. You know him.
It's me, Macho again.
Yeah. All right, boys. I'm loving the energy so far. Love it. I think we should just get through this. Let's go. You ready, Des? Match one?
I'm ready as always, so go ahead.
All right, we got the big bad bosses, Kaiju, versus the undead ones, RW, in our first matchup. Both teams were 2-2. And this match was fairly even on all fronts. You had a lot of ult spanned by RW. You had M Vegeta and 18 going nutso. But a lot of transformations on Kaiju side made it even up. You had Tao versus Majub at the end. And let me tell you, you should go watch it because it's a great one. But let's just say that Tao won and he's on Kaiju. So Kaiju won that match. Let's go with Door. Door, I have a question for you. Since you're intimately familiar with these teams,
Yeah, it's
as
true.
you've
If
been
they
in
had
ties
Cyborg
with
Tao, they
them.
would have lost. Oh, what?
Okay, buddy. The shade will not be tolerated on this cast. I just have one question for you, since you know these two teams. If you're RW and you suffered this loss, but it's close, would you change anything with your builds, or are you going in with the same kind of stratagem as you have before?
Well, that depends. I usually don't change builds, especially on close matches. But RW has 6 builds for each character. So I don't know if they were testing something this week. As the head tester, I can tell you, I've seen many builds on their team. Their ELs moved all over the place, so I could not tell you. That's the hard part. That's the crazy part with RW.
Some would say that's a strength too. A lot of build versatility, a lot of, you never know who's getting the healing. You know what I mean? And when someone's benched, you could just pop it on, right?
And then you look at a different team that likes to switch their builds, there's a little different result orientation standards there.
Hey, I love Muscle. Okay, they're my second favorite. Let's go to Donut. Donut, I have a question for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Kaiju coming off this big win. I feel like they're happy somewhat with Tao. He closed it out. And Scouter, and maybe this is my perception, not meeting reality, but I feel like Scouter has just kind of been underwhelming thus far. I'm trying to remember what build he was on. I believe it was a Key 2 build he's been on. I could be wrong. I'll check right now. But if you're Kaiju and you have like a problem character, how do you usually deal with that? Are you trying to hide him in a sense, or are you trying to take from others' builds to make him better? How would you deal with that?
So I guess it's a matter of mentality. So for, let's say, Scouter in this scenario, it depends on if it's a consistency thing that no matter what we've done with him, let's say we changed his from key to defense to T1 to T2 to super, etc., right? And he's still in that 30, 35, maybe even low into that 20s range. Then you say, hey, do we change him up for FA, right? Or is there something that we can take from, let's say, Nappa's build or Tao's build, right? Maybe he needs an indignation boost for if he's doing a super -1, right, with the T+2. Maybe that. I know this past week he had 3 clashes, so he only won 1, so maybe you think of putting on Power of Rage if he's starting to clash a bit more, right? So I think you kind of play to the character, what the character's doing in this scenario. I know, I believe Royal's done that before. I said, well, Macho Vegeta, we want him to do something, but he's doing the exact opposite, so we're gonna build him to do that and kind of bolster what his AIs teach him to do, right? 'Cause it's a little too late in the game to change AIs at this point, unless you have a true backup. So usually it's trying to tweak a baton here or there and trying to keep that that structure of a 5-man build for playoff purposes. Because every team wants to playoffs, so you have that 5-man build in mind, right?
Fair enough.
I'd change that baton, maybe 1 or 2, maybe change to a blue. But really, it's kind of it's a touch and go, because this week's that style is really good, and this week's that style kind of falls off. So maybe it's be a matchup thing. Maybe a matchup you try to see trends and tendencies. If he's starting at fast melee, well, now you know to not face some denser butter type of character, right? And kind of go off that.
Yeah, I'm looking at his build right now. He's on Key 1, Savior, Sirius, Indig, Fighting Spirit, and Key Control. He's got the smorgasbord here.
Yeah, he has a little bit of
Oh, he's on Cell AI, so maybe that might be something there. But yeah.
I'm a big fan of Cell AI. I am. But-
We are the Cell people here.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Destiny?
I don't say shit.
He's mad that Donut kept saying Clash.
Ah, true.
I didn't say
Those
anything this
clashes
time. I think
just
my mic's,
ruined it.
Bad.
I think my
bad.
mic's just going off.
Oh, it's all good, man. And before we move on, I want to give some love to these teams. Let me talk to Macho real quick. Macho, I have a silly, goofy question for you. Okay? I need you, if you could take one of these guys to the Super Bowl, okay, on RW and Kaiju, who's it being? Who are you taking to the Super Bowl with you? Front
Like
row.
for a team.
No. As a character, which of these two teams, which of these characters are you taking to the Super Bowl with you?
Bardock.
Why?
He's cool. And he has good base stats. I will real quick. I just want to say that was the match of the week. It was a great match. The teams were really
It was a
competitive.
very good match.
It was.
But yeah, I'd do Bardock because he's cool looking, has good base stats. So that's it.
You don't think his blood-stained bandana would be a little smelly after a while?
There's probably way more blood than just that going on in people's uniforms.
Fair enough. So, do we have any more comments on this match, or are we pretty set?
Good to go.
Shout out to
Alright.
Slug, showing off the Kaiju.
Big slug.
Yeah, literal
Slug.
big slug carry.
Yes, sir. Darkness Star. I love that name. Congrats to Kaiju and RW. Hopefully you get your win back next week. And yeah, I'm ready to move on, Des. Let's go to match number 2. We have the
Deborah and friends.
well, I was gonna say the grandest tour versus Deborah and friends, but I like Deborah and friends. Well, one of these teams was, well, it doesn't matter what the record was before, but this match was a pretty one-sided beatdown for most of it. Deborah went through one Vegeta, and then he went through Baby, and then Super 17 comes in. He takes down Deborah, I believe.
Deborah
Meta
tagged.
comes in. Oh, he tagged. Oh.
I think
And then-
I don't think a single person of Royals died this week, actually.
Okay, that's makes me sadder. Meta comes in at old Super 17. He's dead. Then he tries, man, but it's just tough. I mean, he ruined Macho Vegeta's stats, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, it was a pretty one-sided beatdown on GT. Not to, heap on the bad news, I suppose, but Macho, what do you think happened here this week? Like, was it just like, sorry, Deborah is just kind of broken, after a mistrike, his kit's very good, maybe he needs to be nerfed. I don't know. Or was it like a fault of GT? Why do you think this played out this way?
I mean, GT's stayed pretty consistent with their builds, and sometimes you just can't get it to go your way. I mean, they benched Cell, one of their weaker characters. Some could argue they could have benched Sin Shenron, but both of their weaker characters, and sometimes you could say there's slight adjustments where you could do where maybe one had been as bad, but Like sometimes it just doesn't go your way. Like it's not just Deborah doing great. Baby, before he transformed and came back in, he literally sat there and did nothing. So sometimes
Yeah.
it just happens.
Hey, Donut. Considering Royals are both these teams are in a division. It's a divisional. Should have mentioned that. I know it's early, but which team are you scared of more? If you're opponent in the league, I know Royals is. Yeah.
Royals. I think top to bottom they have one of the strongest lineups in the league. You have Metacool and Macho Vegeta, right? Deborah obviously just mashing people, right? So it's hard to find a fault area in the lineup. Not saying there isn't avenues to attack them, and I don't think what GT did was wrong. Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is a very more aggressive character, so by being in Deborah's face to stop him from spamming was the idea, I think, on paper. Just didn't really work out in their favor. But yeah, Royals are definitely the scariest, if not probably a top 3 team, I think, in the league right now, in my opinion.
Okay. My arrogance is fueling me, but I'm not that scared of either of these guys. But they're good. They're good. Door, I feel like you are the harbinger of this olive man. He wasn't in this week, but what are your thoughts on Bobby being on this squad? Are you worried of the revenge tour coming for you, or whatever? It's Bobby, right?
I can't believe how much disrespect I've gotten in one cast. My God.
What are you
Well, I'm just gonna
talking about?
talk with my friends here. I don't know, Donut. I would be more scared. Both teams got robots. What are you gonna do? How's Semi gonna handle that?
We're not even on androids.
I will get to them in a second. But yeah, it is a fair point to bring up that GT does have robots, and so does
Both have
Royals.
2.
Yeah.
They both have 2.
Yeah, and that's obviously a problem, right? And we've already discussed that internally on how to attack it, and it may require some slight changes to things, but we'll be okay, I think, overall.
Yeah,
I can't reveal anything.
Yeah, both teams have characters though that Cell just destroys if he gets a grab. I would more so point out GT I think has a very volatile character in Shin Shenron this year with the Super 2 build. It would be I'm interested to see as a tester I've seen it go through a lot of iterations, and I wonder if it will get some more adjustments. We've already seen it change from Indignation to Fighting Spirit. If maybe he goes down to Q1 or Super 1 and just lets what's his name go at it,
Baby.
and lets Baby get Super 2 because he's already got a 2 bar, so it's not like he's going to be sad.
No. And he's got a good amount of charge rate. He's not going to suffer that much from a key minus one. I like that. Yeah.
And will King Cold have a decent season? This is his second season loaned away, and because he was at Muscle last year for a loan and kind of struggled, and now he's like with Royals, and he's like, I don't know, we haven't seen him at the heights as he was when he was the EL user on Cold, but at the same time, can you argue to have EL on him when Deborah comes out every week as like a top tier contender?
King Cold just feels kind of like the shortest tall person, he's good, but when he's surrounded by Deborah and Vegeta, it's like, oof, tough competition here.
Now, surprisingly, King Cold does have the highest average damage on that team.
Deborah had like 2 really bad weeks, so he's not even in top 10. We have the top 10 stats for up to week 4, and there's nobody on Royals in it. Though, if Macho Vegeta keeps having decent weeks, we know that'll change.
Yeah, that will change.
Macho Vegeta has not had a week outside of cleanup at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been kind of on the back burner. Speaking of Macho Vegeta Destiny, I have a little question for you, since I feel like you have an affinity for most of the characters on these 2 teams. And if you, regardless of power level, who would you want on your team if you could have them right now? Just pluck one from either of these teams. Who would you take?
If I could take one right now, that's actually a tough decision.
Yeah,
What do you
just- yeah.
mean? I know you'd pick Majin Vegeta because you always talk about your teams need spammers.
Well, no,
Oh,
no.
true.
Here's the
Oh,
thing:
but he,
it's
he
like
has a bad ult. He doesn't have a good ult, Door. So
no. Here's the thing: it's like, do I want Baby to have 3 forms to work with, and all of them could really be spammers, or do I want Majin Vegeta because literally he has it all and can not ult, so Savior is still free on him because of how he works. I would say it's a close one for me, but I would say Majin Vegeta just because since he literally can't ult, but Savior's still good on him, I would just take him over Baby. Now, if you said Super Baby 2 is a starting form over Super Baby 1, I would have taken Baby.
partial fan of base baby, tank top life, you know what I mean? But to each their own. Before we move on, Macho, do you have any thoughts about these two teams coming in? Any things you want to say to maybe GT or Royals to give them a little pep talk, maybe?
I don't know. GT, don't be down. It happens sometimes. It's gonna happen to everyone at some point. That's why has there ever been a perfect team? League's
No.
history.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Same.
It's always can't be perfect.
True.
And for Royals, you're a scary team. You know you're a team to beat. Good luck. So yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Also, just before we go, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, I don't know if it's on official stats yet, but Deborah most likely did hit Elite this week, which is her second Elite in a row on
Whoa.
Elite. On
Yeah, it's not confirmed. We're going over his stats right now in the stats chat.
That's still crazy.
But
All
people
right,
are
well,
highly
you'll-
confident he went Elite right now.
All right, well, good job, Royals, an elite character. And GT, you'll get him. I love the Super 17 performances, even though,
Yeah.
maybe I've grown tired of him. I'm glad you got him working, so there you
Yeah,
go.
he's been doing fantastic. He made the tattoo build that we tried. To make it work.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's on Attack 2. I think he's on Attack 1.
Yeah, he's got like combo master. He's got a lot of stuff. He's a little weirdo.
Yeah.
All right, Des, you ready for match number 3?
Let's go.
All right, the second divisional of this week, we had Budokai, the Brawlers, versus the Perfect Ones, the Chosen Ones, Androids. And since my coach is here this week, I'll let him describe the match because I know it's burned into his retinas,
Oh, it's
as
not.
it is mine. As it is mine, I dream of it every night.
Okay.
So, Donut, how did this match play out for both sides?
Sure. So, Budokai, led with a Namekian, so 16 shuttled. And, that's usually how it works, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't fight greener people than him.
Yep. And so 16 kind of got destroyed. Did about maybe a couple of bars damage, right? But couldn't really do much more than that. The 19 steps into the field. Macho is able to take down, lose early Piccolo, and then they, who they put in? I have absolutely no idea.
The other 3 characters on the screen, I have the thing pulled up, is right.
They put in Raditz.
I missed
They put in
early Goku.
Raditz.
Raditz, they put in Raditz, yeah. Raditz had no Vendays too, and Raditz still cleaned up 19 pretty well. 19 had to tag out, and then Cyborg Tao comes in and absolutely destroys Raditz with Dodon spam and Hidden Blade spam. And well, let me pull up your little screenshot here. That helps a little bit. And then GT Goku comes in, and he starts ulting, which leads 17 to come out. 17 does power balls, which is great, but then he kind of does
balls.
fuck all. Yeah, great balls of fire. And then he just kind of flies around and allows GT Goku to ult again, but the pillar eats it, since there's a map destruction, right? And,
Acid.
Yep. And then instead of just punching him one time, 17 powers up with the T, and then he does the Photon Flash, which leads into Endoku, which brings it back to the 1v1 against
Cybertel.
Abutel. And then there was a weird, what could have been almost like a clash but didn't happen between a Kamehameha, a full power energy wave into a Dodon, but the Dodon gets eaten, which allows Tao to move out of the way of it. It was a very weird interaction there. And then Tao was able to clean up from there, even though he had a health deficit coming into that final 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, Tao was the MVP this match. We really loved his performance there. 16, bit of a struggle guy lately. Hopefully he can pick himself up. 19, sleeper 40k, sleeper. And 17, he does his stuff. Destiny. My question to you, they are called Team Goku for a reason. Do you think they came in with the right lineup this week? Would you have tagged in early Goku, or was this like the best they could have thrown out there for the type of matchup they had?
I think this was the better lineup they could have had. Maybe early Goku over Raditz, but it's hard to tell when Raditz had his end days thrown off. Might not have mattered that much, but he did do pretty well in the melee front, even without his den days. It was just he kind of got out spammed by Tao.
Yeah,
and didn't have enough to go ape, which definitely would have helped. Not in the spamming front, because most of Tao's B2 ult would have hit, but it would have helped him brick wall Tao. I will definitely say that at least for them, I would say maybe early Q for Raditz, but that's about it. My main concern here is if that Spirit Bomb hit, if that second Spirit Bomb hit, it could have been like a different match because it means GT Goku wouldn't have died. So it could have led to a tag, could have led to other things. Considering how Super Saiyan 3 versus Cyborg Tao ended with basically Cyborg Tao at half a bar left.
Yes. Okay. Macho, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you have a lot of connections to this team, Budokai here. What are your thoughts on the state of this team currently? Not saying, they're kind of struggling this season, they haven't picked up a win yet. What would you say to the coach and supporters of Budokai going through this kind of, downtime?
Well, I do have some connection because once upon a time I was the coach of Budokai.
I knew it. I thought it was hybrids. I knew it was Budokai. Okay, fair enough.
Last week on the cast I said that early Piccolo was struggling a lot and they could really use him. Well, they actually got him this week, so that was nice for them to have. And it seemed like a lot of their characters actually came together. I mean, honestly, Budokai was literally just a GT Goku ult hitting a pillar away from winning. So, I mean, it was a good match from them. It's definitely a recovery match because a lot of their other weeks seemed like snobs. So I think things are on the upswing for Budokai. And like someone said earlier in the cast, or maybe earlier before the cast, Budokai was 0-6 2022, and then they, made it to playoffs. So this definitely don't count them out.
I agree. I like Budokai, even though they're in my division, and Havoc likes to shit talk. I don't want to disparage them. They're a nice team. Speaking of disparaging, hey Doorguard, I have a challenge for you. For now, say one nice thing about androids. Say
really
one nice thing about androids.
Results, huh?
That's your challenge. Say one nice thing about androids right now.
I think the 17 build has been doing a lot better than most people would give credit when you saw the high end that last season's build, which is the more notable 17 build has had.
Or I'm smiling from ear to ear. I know you can't see it, but I am. Thank you for that. All right.
I will say Raditz only did 29k this week without healing on a defense build. I think, and we've seen him do well, which is funny that they've kind of fixed Raditz. So it's just going to be interesting to see, when they get, because obviously they're having a Dendays conundrum right now.
Yeah.
What they do about that, because Raditz quite clearly needs it to have like a much more decent week. But so does like half the team. However, And Goku seems to have had like a bajillion different 2-cost Pataras on him, so there's a variety that we could see potentially come out of him.
Maybe he's just an EO user, that Goku. Who knows? Who knows? All right, Destiny. Or everybody, do we have any final thoughts, or are we ready to move on?
I'm good.
All right.
Saw
Sounds
in
like we're
testing
done.
Ngoku's build with KSA, he will throw up to 7 ults in a fight, so there is a chance as the season goes on that becomes his new forte.
I'm a fan of that.
Hey, happy to see it since we're
Yeah.
done with them. So
Yeah, they didn't deal with that.
all right, we got match 4. We got Sentai Warriors versus Little Warriors Rugrats, and I'm happy to report to my best friend Tosh, aka the coach of Rugrats, that they won this week. They beat up the heroic Sentai. They had Cell Jr. doing decent. He did like 2 bars to Birder. Birder's a very strong character. It was the Rayleigh and Oob show, really. They just kind of handled Jiren and any other, like, say a woman, Zangia type. Zangia didn't really do good, so I know Destiny's happy. Yeah, it was actually a nice, refreshing thing to see, considering how Rugrats have been this week. I feel like this was a good bounce back for them. And, I'd like to ask Donut, like, are you scared of Rugrats this season? Like, in past seasons, we always lose to them. Aurelia always kicks our ass. How are you feeling about them this year?
Well, I feel the exact same. I feel like they're gonna kick our ass with Aurelia. That's what I feel like. This is very much a return to form sort of thing. So a week for them, and Aurelia point out 92k is indicative of that. And this is without Kid Chunks touching the field, right? So that's something.
Well, actually, funny thing about that, Goten did actually hit the field. They boosted closeout specialist, but he only got to do a B2 against a half health Jiren, half a bar.
Incorrect.
It was very funny.
Yeah, half a bar, not half health. Lot different amount of health there on Jiren, I'll tell you what.
I'm used to 2D fighters, okay? You only have 1 health bar, okay?
It is 1 health bar, it's just like folded in on itself.
But yeah,
Don't trust it.
Yeah, I'm definitely still worried about Rugrats. They still always have that firepower behind them. Yes, Cell Jr. has slipped up and down. Sure, but overall, still a potentially dangerous threat to keep in mind. And you still have Uber, who's a great free agent, right? So they have a lot of good pieces. They'll be a contender still for playoffs.
Okay. Door, since, we were talking earlier, my question would be, when we look at every team, I feel like every team has like an ace. Like you're their best character. We know it. Everybody's scared of them. Are we thinking Sentai has like a 3-headed monster? Like Birder, Gohan, and Jiren are all like super
Bro, you didn't even
strong.
say Woman. Cringe.
I know. Well, I'm more of a Videl fan personally. She's a ring bearer. She won the championship, so what does Say a Woman do for real? But yeah, if you had to pick like their strongest character, like who are you scared of most out of Jiren, Birder, and Gohan?
I mean, I feel like Jiren, despite the air quote nerfs, is still, I don't say that to like be like, oh, he needs further adjustment. I'm just saying in terms of the fact that like even with his adjustment, he is still a very powerful character that you have to respect. And he still does quite a lot. So I don't know. And they have him on like the fact he's doing well, and I think he's number 1 in the league, and he has half his build as Style of the Strong is
that is pretty intimidating. That
probably
is pretty
be taken note of.
Yes. I just like Ultimate Gohan. I think he has a lot of build versatility, but Jiren's a great answer too. Destiny, I know you. You can have your time to shit on Zangia. I know you've been waiting on it this whole cast. You're just salivating for
Character's
it.
trash, worse than the league. I'm happy this. There we go. Enough said. Bring in Videl. Better character.
Yeah, call out. Not Fat Happy. Buzz. Whew.
No,
call out Buzz.
No, like
call out them.
In all seriousness, though, like I think this week is just Ultimate Gohan begins this week. Rugrats wanted to win, and unlike the previous weeks, I had a talk with Tosh before the cast started. Aurelia was on EL for some parts of for some weeks and just didn't really do that well. And then versus GT, she wasn't on EL, so this is just a week where Aurelia didn't really get stomped by the character she was facing, so she just got to do her thing. While Sentai is like, you're gonna have weeks where you have to have an Ultimate Gohan bench, and while I think Birder and Jiren are good, Birder is more of like a chip damage character with his fast melee kind of, especially with the EL build that he has. And Jiren, if he's not hitting B2s, he doesn't really do damage all that much because he doesn't have melee power. So Ultimate Gohan's kind of just the one that's like there, do the melee damage to try to get him a lead or get him to come back. Sentai basically is they're a three-headed dragon, and the body is like the other three characters, is a little bit weaker on the side.
I like that reference. House of the Dragons on Amazon right now. Good show. Before we go on to this next match, does anyone else have anything they want to say to these teams going forward, or are we good to send them on their way?
I got one thing.
Yeah.
Aurelia did good first, so congrats, Rugrats. I think if your team is not on, or you are looking for a team to watch, I think you should always watch Sentai Squad, because they're a very interesting team. You have the number 1 and number 8 characters in Jiren and Ultimate Gohan respectively on your team, and then you just have kind of trash characters other than Birder. Then the funniest example is week 2, which they won. They had Jiren and Ultimate Gohan combined for 160,000 damage, and then they Min and Zingaya combined for 17,000.
They're just they're the little brothers on the controller. They're not plugged in, but they're trying.
I mean, if that's not interesting, I don't know what is. That's exciting every time you see a match with Sentai. So yeah, that's all.
No, that's a crazy dichotomy for sure. Okay, interesting. Thanks for that tidbit. All right, well, congrats to Rugrats. We love you, Tosh. And for Sentai, you're a great team this year, so you're gonna get that win back. Don't even stress about that.
Yeah, just this week when they lost, they're great.
Okay, they're always great. Okay, I got some of all the time.
What's going on here?
Well, I know Door's excited for this next match. You got match number 5, Destiny. You ready?
I guess. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll give you this, Destiny. Based on how tags and health went, the beam clash didn't matter.
Oh no, I'm not.
It made it more obvious, but I'm pretty sure when Evil Buu did 30k, only losing a bar and a half, then tagging, that was pretty good sign that things were not going well.
Oh no, we went into this week expecting that it's probably going to be a week where we're going to lose because we always struggle versus your team. Just happens. And we had our best character out, so
fair enough. I was literally gonna say we got Buu Saga versus Cinema. I was gonna ask Door and you, Destiny. Maybe Door goes first since he's the guest. What was your mindset going into this week? How'd you plan for this matchup? Brothers fighting against each other. You two. You hate to see it, but it has to happen. What was the game plan, Door?
Well, we had to worry about Gogeta. We were pretty much betting that it was either Gogeta or Vegito out this week. It ended up being Gogeta, but we had to plan in case they did have Gogeta in, since he'd been doing so well this season. And just in general, based on testing, seeing Fasha popping off a lot, Janemba just kind of sucking up a lot of damage. They're using literally the Vegito build we made. We just had to anticipate they would come in as a very strong team. So just one of those deals where when we looked at it, it's okay, we need to put in a good lineup. And that's kind of we didn't it's funny because Majin Buu and Kid Buu have been so volatile in stats that we had Kid Buu out against Cold only because we were like, if he flops, it's a lot worse than if Majin Buu just comes out in ults.
Actually, funny enough, so you had the discussion with your team of whether it be Gogeta versus Vegeta out, right? We had the reverse on my team of we were either expecting Spopovich or Majin Buu to be out. And we were the reason why we had Fosh up front is because we were kind of just prepared to have either Spope or Kid Buu out, depending on, which one was there. We were just kind of hoping that this would be the week where Majin Buu was out and not Spopovich, because we know Spopovich has been kind of, if he's in, he's kind of the starter, and hoping Fasha can, get a really big lead onto the next character. But not discrediting Spopovich, by the way. Like, we've seen that he's been really good this season.
Yeah, he's not in the top 10, but I do know he's been in one of his best seasons yet.
Like, that's just our mindset going into this. Like, we expected to lose, but we were hoping if there was a way that Majin Buu would be out, to have Spopovich starting, and, see how it goes from there.
Were you disappointed in any of your characters this week? Either side, anything you want to improve on?
I'm disappointed in Janemba a little bit, and a little disappointed in Vegeta, but not much he really could have done. Like, we already kind of had the stats for him. He did like 20,000 before Buhan came in, or like 20, 25, 29k before Buhan came in, and then the Beam Clash. Honestly, the Beam Clash kind of hurt a lot because it almost took off 2 bars from him. So,
yeah,
don't know how he could have done if he just dodged the beat and didn't get into a clash.
We did do some small testing that EL Buhan, not necessarily a new build. It won us the 3rd place match. It's a build we've used we pretty much like have every character has the ability to run EL when our EL character out, and Spopovich is the one out. So it was an air quote test because obviously it's the first time this season we're doing it, and we had no idea if it would actually
work,
be any good. We knew it would work. It was just whether it'd do more than 40k, because it's a defense to serious EL build. It was always going to do like 40k because it's Buhan. Just whether or not it would actually like do enough to be like, okay, we're in a good spot kind of deal.
I will say though, the person that did get you guys in like a really good position is someone who I actually was not maybe expect. I was expecting this week for him to do stuff, but I was not expecting, like, say, at the start of the season, because I've been paying attention a little bit to your tests, but at the start of the season, I was not really expecting the build to work as well as it had been, is Evil Buu.
Incorrect. You mean Super Evil Buu?
Yes.
Yeah. We tried to do Super 2, and we found out Super 1 ended up being the way. And yeah, he's been popping off pretty hard since then. It's been pretty good. Been surprising, to say the least. Was not expecting him to be as consistent as he has been. But the other side is Spopovich has been incredible, but Majin Buu's been pretty... He's been in the 30k range, which is not awful when everybody else is doing over 40k. It's just not preferential.
I mean, Majin Buu a lot of the time has just been the character of like, alright, he's going to come in, he's going to press the alt button. That's kind of it.
Pretty much.
Nice. I love the discussion, guys. That was awesome. Just to get a little silly goofy for my boys, Dona and Macho. I know you guys are loving this one. If you were to be turned into a piece of candy by Gohan Buu, what candy would you be?
Hershey's.
A Hershey's? Just like a buttercup? Like a chocolate?
No, like the little bars.
Okay.
Like
what about you, Macho? What candy are you?
Black licorice, because no one likes black licorice.
That's fucked up.
That's very sad.
See, I would be the pink starburst, the elite one of the crew.
True. Knows.
You know what, Destiny Door? What candy would you be if Boo turned you into candy? What candy would you be, Destiny?
I'd either be the Crunch Bar, basically just candy bar
Ooh,
with peanuts, or I'd be
yeah.
Reese's Cup.
I don't really like a Reese's Cup. It's a little oily, you know, but yeah, hey, respect. What about you, Door? What are you turning into?
Huh?
Buhan turns you to candy. What are
Huh?
you? See this guy. He doesn't like playing games. He's super
Huh?
serious in the DBZ League.
It's Butterfinger.
A butter. Oh, God. You guys can't compare to the Pink Starburst. All right. Are we?
You didn't
I'm
even name
sorry.
a chocolate. It's chocolate beam.
He turns him
ding
into
dong.
any candy in the
Yeah,
show.
but in BT3 it is chocolate beam.
I'm going off the canon of the show. Okay.
All right. We all good to
Damn
move
this
on.
guy.
We all good to move on.
Mr. Electric.
Or
Kill
anyone else?
this man.
Anyone else have any final thoughts?
We
It's good,
good.
Macho. I agree.
All right,
Yep.
we're good.
Hey, okay.
Now let's go.
Okay, next match we have the overbearing fathers Namek versus the Eternal Sons hybrids. You see what I did there? Because like King Piccolo's on Namek and like Piccolo's like a father to Gohan, and the team's all Gohans and Trunks because they're all. You get it. You get it. Okay. Huh?
I said it was funnier when you explained it all.
I know, right? That's how jokes work. When you explain it, it just gets funnier and funnier every time. So we started off with Tambourine versus Mr. Future Gohan, and it was pretty even until Gohan said, "No, it's not," and he kills Tambourine. And that's sad because Tambourine destroyed my team last week, and Gohan just made him look like a chump. Nail comes in on a build I like, or no, sorry, foolish. I got Namekians mixed up.
Oh wow.
Late Piccolo comes in.
Wow.
Wow.
Notable.
I'm okay.
Notable.
I'm-
Write this down.
Nuova's not even Namekian, bro.
I said Nail. He is Namekian.
I know. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
That's crazy. We are a very politically correct podcast. We know all the names of every Namekian. Late Piccolo, with his white gi, came in and kind of just got rocked by his son, Gohan, the teen version. And then, did he tag or die? I
No,
think he
none of them
died.
fought. Stat says did not fight for all of them. None of
Okay,
them fought.
I think Late died. King came in and he's like, you know what? This is my
he
town.
tagged.
Oh, sick. Yeah, and then King Piccolo came in and said it's my town, and then Teen said, no, it's not. I'm gonna transform and then tag, which he did into his. They have no relation, Trunks and Gohan, his friend, and he just Sword Trunks kills King Piccolo. Late comes in, you know, he's like, I got cherry bullets for days. And, you know, I think he takes care of Sword Trunks. This match, I'm gonna be honest, this match is the one I watched the least. Teen comes in, he blammers Late Piccolo. In comes Nail. I remember this part because Nail's in it, and I like Nail. He's on a good build. But Teen goes SSJ2. But you know what Nail says? He says, bump that, I don't care. And it was a pretty even fight between the Hero of Justice and Saiyaman. And unfortunately, you know, Nail lost a hard-fought battle, but I liked the effort. And that was the match. I have a question for Destiny. Mr. Destiny, if Nuova is not a Namekian, what is he?
He's a dragon.
Are Namekians not tangentially dragons?
Bro.
I'm just asking the real hard-hitting questions here.
I mean, I guess. I mean, the
No,
Namekians.
they're slugs.
Yeah.
Aren't slugs kind of earthly dragons in a sense? Dragons of the earth?
I don't think anyone thought of that. Like, I had Slug in my fish tank, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's my pet dragon over there.
But if you,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that late Piccolo just like totally beefed it this week. Not the character I would bet to beef it. He kind of redeemed himself off the tag and came back in, did some stuff. For a hot minute, he was just letting Teen wail on it.
I forget.
He beefed it.
Didn't he hit a Hellzone grenade?
He did, but he didn't do much. When he initially came in, Teen Gohan basically just got to do whatever he wanted.
Oh yeah, I'm just remembering.
And then he tagged out, and then he came back in and was doing a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, late kind of. I mean, Teen did his thing. I wish he could have did more in SSJ2, honestly, because I like that for him. But he kind of just, bleh. Donut, what would if? Okay, we know Oasis, right?
We do. We are familiar.
I feel like Namek's in a weird position this season. I feel like Namek's either highly overachieving or highly underachieving. And this season, I feel like they're kind of just been a team in the league. I don't want to be rude, but they just feel like kind of like, I mean, they have the same record as us, but I feel like they've just been kind of up and down, real inconsistent. What would you say to Oasis and Namek, if they're listening in? Oh, and Zelo too. He's on that too.
Zelo's the coach.
Yeah, Zelo's
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Man, things just happen when I'm not looking.
Apparently
It
so.
do be like that. It do be like that, yeah. What I want to talk to Namek in regards to about how the season's gone.
Yeah. Like, how would you give him advice to, maybe these things can improve certain characters, or are you okay with how the season's going because it's not like a crazy extreme like last season's where they go like 6-0 or 0-6,
Yeah, I don't think there's really much to say at all. I think you just kind of trust your process, right? You guys have done testing. You have, looked at your lineup, said, hey, you have King Piccolo on a really good build now. We have Duova and late who can carry a match at any given point. And you kind of ride what you've been going. You've seen the highs against androids, right? You flat out destroyed androids. And, you faced a really good hybrids team this week. So I wouldn't be too down about anything. It's just, you kind of trust your process. Like you've had a whole off season of work, and there hasn't been any really big problem signs, at least thus far in this first 4 weeks that I can point to. Say, hey, this is your problem character. So you kind of stay the course. I think you use boost what you think is necessary. Then maybe there's a heavy clash person coming up, or maybe there's a person who right body would be great against, and you kind of boost a coin to that, but really kind of just, trust your process.
Real Sam Hinkie mentality. Trust the process. I get it. And they haven't done anything, and hopefully Namek, they bounce back next week. Macho, I feel like hybrids, they've always been like a very strong team. Like every year, consistently, they're a strong team. This year, they loaned away Ultimate Gohan for Saiyaman so they can get enough Zenny for Adult Gohan. Was that the move to take them over the edge this year, or is there something else they need to figure out for that? Like, what would you say to that? How do you feel about that?
There's still a lot for them to figure it out. I think right now hybrids are trying to find themselves. I mean, the easiest way to tell that is they had Saiyaman on an Ultra Divine Water this week, which is not a Batara that many people whip out. So
it's a choice for sure.
It's not just that loan, because yes, they have solid characters and they always have, but right now their best character is Future Gohan, followed by Sword Trunks, which is never usually the case for them. So I think the biggest thing they're trying to figure out is how to make base team work, because this is his first decent week. All the other weeks, base team has struggled heavily. Like, he got washed by Dodoria last week, I remember that. So it's not just that alone. The hybrids it seems like they need more time to figure out themselves. But like you said, very strong team, so wouldn't be surprised if they figure it out soon.
Fair enough. Door, real quick before we, move on. As Buu Saga, you're strong.
Okay.
I mean, you are considered one of the stronger teams of the league, and you've seen these two teams. You've seen the highs, you've seen the lows. Which team are you more scared of now currently, hybrids or Namek?
I think
Buu
they're
Saga,
pretty
as your
equal
team.
as of this season. I think the loss to Ultimate Gohan kind of dragged hybrids down, and Namek's been kind of struggling with builds. So I think they're kind of. It's not like dishing on either. It's just one of those. I think when you look at how they're doing, they're both very, I guess, similar just in how they're performing. And I mean, they're both 2-2, right? So it's like not that.
Yeah, that's a fair answer for sure. I just didn't know if you had like oh well, Nuova does this against us really well, or like, well, you gotta watch out for Teen Gohan. You know what I mean? I don't know the internal talks with Buu Saga, so I was just curious if you had any like interesting tidbits on them. Do we have any final thoughts on this match, or are we ready to go to the next one? All right, awesome. Okay, we got match 7. Ooh, we're breezing, boys. We got Cold Kingdom versus Le Derps, otherwise known as, well, not otherwise, also known as the overpaid bosses versus the undervalued employees. I won't explain the joke on that one. You should get that one. This
What does that
match
joke
is
mean?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Doorguard. I'd be happy to explain. You see, Frieza and Cooler are like the bosses of Salsa and Dodoria, and they're like
What's
fighting.
it have to do with
against each
Supreme Kai and Frost, who's from a different universe?
Frost
Or-
listens to Frieza.
Or
That's his
Yamcha,
older brother.
or Yamcha, who's not even like.
Right,
Yamcha
Yamcha,
was
who
born
killed
to
every
serve.
character canonically on both teams because he's so powerful. He is a god of
Yamcha
destruction after
in-
all.
Yamcha in Universe 7 was born to serve under people, so he's born an employee. You know what I mean?
It wasn't.
A pawn, if you will. But I was saying, this match, it was pretty even to start off with. You had Salsa versus Cooler. Cooler, uncharacteristically, not doing well. He tags. In comes Zarbon. And hoo-wee! Monster Zarbon, you are a menace. He was just tearing up guys like Yamcha. I think he got a bit of Salsa. I could be wrong. I remember Mecha coming in after him, or Cooler, and he transforms. Yes. And then Mecha comes in. He's taking out the rest of like Yamcha and Salsa. And, you know, wrapping it up, you had Dodoria. He tried his best, but it was just overwhelming odds against him. Cold had like 3 or 4 people left. It was a pretty bad stomping. But, you know, I want to get into this. And I want to ask Macho something. Because I have a bone to pick with you, sir.
I'm actually just curious with your
Uh-huh.
match, because like most of that was wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what match
I-
you were watching.
I'm pretty
but that's
sure
not the match
Cooler-
we
Well,
were watching.
I'm pretty sure Cooler, I think, did well, right? Devilman got
I
screwed
mean, he
over.
didn't do well in the
He did
beginning. He only
okay,
took
but he
2
had
balls
to
off
tag.
Salsa, then he
Yeah.
transformed.
Well,
Yeah.
no, the 2 things I caught out was like one, Yamcha destroyed Monster Zarbon and then got destroyed. It was that way.
No. Zarbon destroyed Yamcha. I just said Yamcha's name because he got tossed around a
Zarbon
lot.
made an ult because he wanted the false courage during it. Like he got destroyed.
I seen Zarbon at the windscreen and I assumed he stopped.
No, because he tagged out. Like
Yeah, 'cause
this
he
was
tagged
super
out.
close because Derp would
Was
have
it close?
won the match if Cole didn't tag 4 times. Like tags won the match for Cole because they were struggling every 1v1. But Cole kept tagging out.
Devilman was bad, I agree, but I don't think.
I think Cooler tagged out, and then everyone else tagged out once beside Devilman. Like that was a tag. There were so many tags on Cold's side. Derp performed admirably.
I agree there was a lot of tags, but I don't think it was because maybe my perception of reality is incorrect, and you got it.
Maybe.
I was just gonna have a bone to pick with you because I think you stole a valuable member of Derp away from Derp.
Yeah, we can talk about that in my match.
Yeah, we can.
Oh,
Well, because it's
Okay.
more relevant because that's your said character performed well in that match. So.
I mean, but the character you said away before bad at this. Well, that's fair. We'll talk about it in the other one. That's fair.
Yamcha did.
I don't think he performed that good, but maybe we're wrong.
That's our end, dude. What do you mean?
Wait, how much damage did he do?
Because
46,000.
he beat Monster Zarbon.
What was the number?
46,020.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good to you guys. All right. That's cool.
I mean, a character
Yeah,
doing
that's better.
40k, he does 40k.
He took his man.
He technically
Hey,
did
man.
take his man's, yeah. So
I
I
have
don't know
higher
what match you're
standards.
watching, but bro, like
I have
seriously.
higher standards for my characters. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, and Android 19 is not doing it.
Three of our characters did worse than him, by the way. Just letting you know.
Whoa, Donut! What the heck, dude? It's okay. We need to
That's
tell
not
on
lying.
ourselves. Stats do lie sometimes.
Mhm.
Uh, okay, guys. Maybe I didn't watch this match to the full veracity.
Yeah, well, I could
that
tell you
guys
didn't watch
did.
it. I mean, that's not the problem here.
I did watch it. I was in the call.
Yeah. Oh, you could say that. And I literally said in the call while the stream was happening, I looked away. Next thing I know, Devilman's almost dead. I don't know what happened, so I can't
I
say
didn't
shit.
say anything about Devil. I know he's been bad. I didn't say anything about 21 either because she's been bad. Which brings me to my next
I think
question.
21's actually been okay this season.
21's
No,
been-
she has. Stop. Now you're gaslighting me. I know you're gaslighting me now.
It's-
She has not been good.
one of their better characters.
Yeah, 21's one of their better
What?
ones this season. Yeah. You've just not been paying attention, bro.
Am I crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're telling you.
No way 21's been that good. To be.
She like won
Stop.
the in hybrids week 3 because she destroyed future Gohan.
She averages 37,000, by the way.
Yeah, and she had,
Okay, my bad. Okay, that's really good.
She's
You're
had
right,
some
it's good. It's good.
she's
it's
had
great.
some not great weeks, but she's still been one of their better characters.
No, she's great. She's a great character. She's 37,000. She's great. I'm sure Derp are happy. You guys want to take this match? Take this match. I'm losing it. You guys got it. This match is messed up for me right now.
I mean, weren't you gonna have a point about 21?
No, because I
Where's
was
your
gonna say
brain
she's
hurt?
been bad.
Who did
Donut,
this
how
to
would you
you?
fix it? But apparently 37K, she's not been bad.
Who
How would
hurt
you
you?
improve on greatness, Donut, with 21? How would you improve that?
How would you improve?
How would you improve the greatness that she's shown us so far?
I don't know if there's much to improve. I think it's more about just finding the right matchups, right? 'Cause
I
those
know
are
it's difficult.
Right? I wouldn't say there's much wrong with the build because, you know, and when she first up at 17, she was doing great. You know, our match fenced up. And
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there like, oh, doing, 11,000 damage on a B2 or something like that. I was like, wow, that's really strong. And I think it's a lot about just trying to find the right, slot in the lineup order for her. I don't think a starter is positionally correct for a character like her, so you're kind of limiting that 2 to 4 slot, right? But I think there's not really much wiggle room for her. I probably have as a closer more so than as a in that 2 slot maybe, but I think the 4 slot would be the best for her, position wise.
I would kind of agree with that, but it's mostly of like, at least when it's the starting position, you kind of have a little bit of control when there's always that randomness between the 2nd and 4th slot because the AI might always, tag them in.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least have a little bit
Yeah.
of control with the starter position.
Yeah, the reason I say don't have 2nd is because usually you have one of your stronger melee and aggressive users out front, like the Buzz or your 16 sort of thing, right? And if they're on a roll, then they kind of easily transition into that momentum to the 2nd character, which could be problematic for 21, right? If you want that space.
I can't believe she did 45K against us, Donut. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
They gotta take her off that Buu costume, because I just get blinded, dude. I just think she's bad
Yeah?
when she's in that costume, dude. I don't know.
he's just a
I'm
hater.
cooked.
He's just a hater. That's it.
I'm cooked, dude.
Anyone
Just flambe me up.
anyone else have anything to say before we move on to match 8?
Destiny, take match 8, dude. I'm flambe.
Actually,
No, I
this
want to
was-
hear how Anthony
Yeah,
saw match
I
8.
was
need
going to say
know.
this is like the one match I didn't see like almost anything in except the very end, so I can't do
Well,
it.
now I'm self-conscious. Now my sense of reality has been questioned.
You know
so
what?
But I need
How
to
about-
know.
how
I
about-
need you to compare.
Instead of
We need to
me,
contrast.
You know what? How about
instead of me, I
Macho.
will ask the person who has stakes in this match, and I will ask Macho how his match did.
Okay. Well, the match was kind of a stomp for us, and it was for two big reasons. One, Muscle Trunks exist that destroyed their lead, which is pretty important for like when you have two savior users waiting behind your starters. So we were able to get Krillin to beat Trunks because Muscle Trunks happened, and Muscle Trunks is bad. Then 13 came out. We were able to burn 13 Savior on Krillin and still get some damage in. So that gave us a huge lead going into it. Mid Goku could take it from there. 13 performed admirably as he does, but Mid Goku had a good week. And then it kind of went out of control once Hercule came in. Hercule had an astounding week. I think he did 70k and only took like a bar and a half of damage. And I know that bone to pick that Anthony had was with, Hercule for Yamcha. Let's talk about that. Isn't that crazy? Well, let me give you some context here. The whole reason why I reached on an FA like Jace was because Hercule was testing awful. Like, he was really bad in testing. And then suddenly my supporter gave him a new build, and I gave him a random AI I just thought of, Chaozu. And suddenly Hercule is a 60k character. So make that make sense, I don't have much to say about that, but
it's called Chaozu AI. It's based.
Chaozu AI is the best AI. So,
it's based. So, and you want to question my reality, I question yours. Who is your best character, Macho?
Mid Goku.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got that covered.
I mean, it's also because I have a super character, because the reason why Mid Goku is forced on super is because every single character on ED is better on melee. Every single one. There's not a single. Huh? I thought you said
Destiny said he thought you say Hercule, and I said I thought you said Krillin.
No. I said is going off of his point of now that he has Hercule, who is a super character, he can put Mid Goku on something else.
Yeah, because he can eat up all the super petars. Because like I said, even Yamcha, who's not here, he works better on melee. Every other character, like Mid Goku, you can see clear as day, he was one of our most struggling characters because he was forced on B2s, because he actually has good B2 stats and he has potential there. But how he has some room, put him on melee, his damage is insane. Like, he had a 3-hit ping pong combo that went for 9k. Like, that's absurd damage. So yeah. That was a week I didn't think we were going to win, but it was exciting nonetheless. Muscle has some things to figure out. Yeah, Bojack was probably the most surprising one on their side. Bojack kind of just did nothing against Hercule. I wonder why that was, because he did look solid in earlier weeks. The rest, there's some kinks there, but it is Muscle. They are destined to win the bowl. So.
I think the only one on their team that doesn't really have kinks to figure out for them, because it's just kind of just like he comes in, does his, and hopes the map doesn't really explode on him, is Raccoon.
Yeah, I mean, he cleaned up Mid Goku. Like, he kept the match close. It wasn't until Bojack dropped the ball that it was really such a commanding win.
As like Trunks did really well, and then again, like as you said, Muscle Trunks happened, which kind of stunt the lead for him. And then
as I recall that match, Trunks only did 36k by my count.
Literally didn't know when she became Muscle Trunks. Like, he had the Muscle Trunks happened, and Krillin just beat him.
I think you are disrespecting Muscle Trunks a little too much for my liking. Doorguard.
Okay, let him speak.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Speak.
I mean, I was just saying, like, because I skimmed through the matches beforehand, that like Krillin seemed to have Muscle Trunks' number by a fair bit, whether it be for the reason of the transforming or whatnot. I don't know. But it seemed like going forward, it just seemed like there's just not much hope for Team Muscle here. Just everything they tried to do just didn't seem to quite land. And it's just been weird. It's been weird seeing how that's been going. Like, it's not like
I know why
we're
it's
even
happening.
doing anything. Like, the builds should be working. They were working in testing. They're just not quite doing what they need to do Like 13 is not hitting enough B2s. Bojack, I mean, but it didn't matter how well Bojack did this week. By the time he was out there, he had like 3 characters to go through, you know? Like he still struggled. He only did like 15K, but it didn't matter. It's just been weird. It's been weird seeing him, and people joke, oh, you know, they're just going to get to playoffs and win it, but 0-4 puts them a little further away from it.
With how playoffs are going now, it's, you know, or how it goes now to get into playoffs, might not even happen. They keep having this struggle.
Well, yeah, I mean, them and Budokai don't have a win. Rugrats only has the win. So as long as Tosh can start winning, then they're basically
and I mean, like,
have no option.
Yeah,
but there's
like,
a lot of teams. The majority of the teams only have 2 wins. So
yeah,
at the same time, it's like around the corner.
It is only week 4.
Yeah, but most teams there's no teams that are undefeated. So there's no teams that are like super far away.
Yeah.
I have a PSA for Ryan. Hey Ryan, let's play. Coach of Muscle. Free my man Broly. Why is he in jail? He's the team leader. That's why you're losing, because your team leader's not there. You replaced him with an old man. Get him out of there. Bring in Broly. He'll save your season. I'm standing on that one. As for Earth Defenders, you know, solid team. I would love to play them in the playoffs. And
hopefully win this time.
Oh, we're don't get me started
Don't say that
on
sentence.
Earth Defenders. They are a good team. I like their characters. I wish Mid Goku was in base form, but that is okay. Yeah. Are we ready to get on to these predictions, boys, or we got more we want to say?
I just wanted to say one thing, and it was also directed towards Macho. Of I do really like that you had the ability to change Mid Goku up, because Mid Goku, has always basically been talked about as like he's a good character. But he's always been talked about on like the B side. So I'm glad that you made him look like a really good character without going straight into B2s. But it's not like he's not B2ing a lot on this build either.
No, not at all. Yeah, he's hybrid. I mean, we have Savior on him before while I was trying stuff out. I think he does have launches on him, or he did have launches. We took it off, but yeah, I mean, we tried to like make it a bit hybrid, because mostly with Migoku is he has insane base stats, so we tried to lean into it.
Yeah, I'm ready now though.
Awesome. Okay. I just want to do a quick shout out again. Thanks, Fior, for the tier list. We love it. It's always fun. You know, you get to see the kings of the league at the top. You know, Hercule, Deborah, Rayleigh, real goats of this. You know, Tao being our best character, of course, as everybody knows. Yeah, you know, we're killing it, guys. Love the tier list. Love everything about it. So let's start predictions. We got match number 1. We got Royals versus Cinema. I'll get mine out the way. Well, actually, no. Destiny, I will not disrespect you and not let you say what you brought in this week. What is Cinema doing?
Actually, before I even say that, I think this is the final week for now that Royals is in the first 2 matches, by the way.
Oh,
but going into that, so we have actually benched Vegito. First 5 weeks, want to make sure we have a character bench for every week. This just happens to be the week where Vegito's bench, which we're kind of happy about, because he's been kind of struggling, and Royals is not a team you disrespect. Actually, well, it's a really, really good team. We feel like we have a chance this week because we assume Macho Vegeta is going to be benched, considering everyone else has been benched at least once. Macho Vegeta hasn't yet, and normally Macho Vegeta tends to struggle versus my team. Can't really sit there with Power Body and do what he wants. But getting into it, we have started Fasha on her normal build. We have Jane coming up next on a different style of build with new AI, actually. Still defense, but we have Rush Blast 2, Latent, Serious Focus Shot with Vegeta AI. Garlic on a slightly
Do
altered.
that slower. I can't type fast enough to fat happy.
We have Garlic on a slightly newer, not like a wholly new build, but a slightly altered build of. We still have him on attack 2 with Dendays, but we have Indignation, Savior, launches on him with still with the Chow's AI, and Gogeta is on his normal defense 3 EL fighting spirit Vegeta AI. So Basha and Gogeta are normal, and Jane and Garlic are the altered ones. Obviously, I'm giving it to my team, but I would not be surprised whatsoever if Royals wins this.
Sick. All right, Dona, who do you got?
Royals, I think there will be a pretty one-sided affair. I
Mm.
think Metacooler, Majin, even if the Bird keeps up that performance, I think it'll be really tough for Cinema to have an angle. I know have Gogeta coming back in, which is really good. They don't need that to keep it competitive. But I do think there's so much firepower from Royals.
All right, Door, who do you got?
Well, I think it's going to be a hard one, but I think Cinema, just because they have their damage a little more spread out, Royals are definitely like all in on like 2 or so members. You know, because like when you look at it, it's like Bobbity, I shit on him for a reason. He can have good weeks, but he can also struggle heavily because his ways of dealing damage are just so obtuse and compared to most characters' kits. He just can't deal melee damage, which is like what 90% of the time happens. So you got stuff like that, or Pilaf. Choose to have Pilaf in, who's also again just who's arguably better, but still struggling, and then King Cold, as we've seen around the place. So, you know, they're gonna have 1 of 2 potential weaker members coming in this week, I believe, and then I don't know. You know, Metacooler's always been solid, but I think Cinema just has a little more, like I said, a little more variety of characters doing well. But like Destiny said, you can never count out someone like Mach and Vegeta deciding that he's just gonna yell "You're dead" 30 times in a row.
You're dead.
Or like
All right,
looking at
two-
the tier list, literally Gogeta and Dora are elite, and you know either one of them could go elite again. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna be
Deborah.
nuts.
No longer testing Deborah meme, it's gone.
So 2-1 Cinema, Macho, who do you got?
I had Cinema as well. I think Royals, I imagine they might bench someone's decent this week because they got us next week. So, you know, always got to prepare against ED. But actually, I like Cinema's lineup they're putting forth. Starting Fasha is solid. Royals, one of their biggest issues is that they don't have a solid starter. That's why they, you know, sometimes it's Deborah, but sometimes they threw out Bobbity. And that worked that 1 week, but that also just means that they don't really have a stalwart starter. Fasha's a pretty good starter. So I think Cinema can capitalize.
Nice. All right, I'll go Cinema, 4-1 Cinema, because screw Royals. We don't want you to win this year. Get out of here.
Wait, is Turles on attack too?
Carlos isn't even.
All right, never mind. Cinema lost all the way.
I wish
Alright.
I wish he could be, but he's been a problem child. So
All right, 4-1 Cinema. Let's go to this next match. We got a divisional in the house, boys. We got Hybrids versus Muscle. You know what? I'm throwing it out there. They're releasing Broly this week, and they're gonna win. Give me Muscle.
considering how this is last week, Adult Gohan was benched, and I mean they could just bench someone like Saiyaman again. I'm actually going to say Hybrids this week because Adult Gohan pretty strong, and like Future shown that he can be a pretty good character to like either have as a start or have just put anywhere. And if Teen decides again that he wants to do really well, I'm not going to hold it against him. Though I will say, Muscle, not a team to really slouch on. It's just with Grandpa Gohan potentially coming back in if they don't bring in Broly, which they could do, they could not do. Going off of what I'm seeing right now, I'm going to say Hybrids. I would not expect Muscle. I'm not expecting Muscle to be like out of it though.
Door, who do you got?
I mean, the safe bet's Hybrids. But the fun bet is Muscle, let's go and bench the Broster.
Pure vibes. Macho, who do you got?
I also got Muscle. I think.
Oh my.
Well, I know. I think hybrids still have a lot to figure out, even though they're 2-2, because a lot of their characters have been super inconsistent. And I do think Muscle are going to try something. Ryan openly admitted to me that he didn't mean to bench Grandpa Gohan against us. So I think it is actually what Anthony said. It actually is pretty possible that Broly could be coming in this week. It's good to get an appearance from him. But yeah, I mean, Muscle is such a powerful team, and yeah, I'll go Muscle.
All right, let's round it out, Donut. Come on, you know your heart.
My heart? Alright, well, my heart says let's go hybrids. Um, I'm sorry, the rivalry between Android and Muscle. But no, I do think Adult coming back in for hybrids is huge, right? Even if Broly comes in for the first time for Muscle this season, that I think that offsets, or even in favors of hybrids. But I do think the hybrids have been more put together. I know Muscle does have a strong lineup, but they have some points they need to work out themselves as well. But I'm gonna lean hybrids on it.
We got 3-2 Muscle, but a lot of vibes on this, a lot of vibes. Match 3, ED versus Namek. Before we go predicting, Macho, give us the details, bro.
Benching Krillin, starting TN. Same lineup we used against androids.
All right, so that's a Namek W there. Don't even need to elaborate because their best character, Krillin's gone. So what are they gonna do?
Krillin didn't test well against Namek, which usually happens because they have decent base stats with their starters. We suspect they're probably starting late Piccolo and not Tambourine. We would take Krillin Tambourine, but I don't think that's gonna happen. And yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting week. See how we pull it out. I think ED all the way.
I'm assuming you're picking ED.
Yes, that's what ED all the way means.
Oh, well, sometimes I think it's erectile dysfunction. The way you guys are so dysfunctional. Destiny, who are you picking?
What are Cell's stats this season? Did not fight. That's what I thought.
It's because he's better. He doesn't need to.
He's banished to the bench next to Ginyu. He's so bad.
Yeah, get ready. Who are you picking, Destiny?
So ED.
Nice. Okay. Doors. Did you want to be Yapper? Who are you picking?
Yeah. Again, the safe one is ED, and I think I'll go with it this time. I don't really know what's gonna go on with Namek. They've got some decisions to make. They've got some problems to account for.
All right. Let's round it out, Donut. Who you got?
On paper it's pretty competitive on paper, but I'm gonna lean ED on this one. I think last week was really a statement from them, just absolutely destroying Muscle. And I think Namek, while they have a lot of good pieces, I just don't know if all combined it will be enough to handle what ED has.
All right, I'll take 4-1 ED. I'll stand on business. Let's go Namek. Match number 4. We got RW versus the Grand Tour. We know Cell's coming back in, and RW, they are bringing in not that one. I'm looking at my database.
Roshi.
I lost it. Roshi. I forgot he was in.
Remember, they could double bench, but they might not.
In my heart, I want it to be Ader, and since he's not in, give me GT. Those are my boys. Let's go. Who do you got, Donut? You go first this time.
Yeah, I actually don't think it'd be a bad idea if they brought in Ada because of Imperfect Cell coming back in. That wouldn't be too bad of a mindset, actually. But I do think that RW has a more complete roster. There's been a lot of problems for GT. I do stats for them, so I see a lot of the issues. Finn is doing pretty rough at times, and it's always these past few weeks have been like hit and miss on which character does under 10,000 type of thing, which is not a good spot to be in. So I'm gonna lean RW.
All right. Macho, who do you got?
Kind of close to me, because RW they found some consistency in their characters, but I think GT has strong characters to begin with, and I don't know. I'm a fan of the bounce back week, so I'll go GT.
All right. Door. Let's pick them.
I think RW. I think they just have that stuff going. I think it was really close this weekend, and they've just got a lot. They've got some momentum going on, and same deal. They could totally be a bounce back week for them pretty easily, especially with how close it was this last week.
I respect it. Hey, Des, let's break this tie. Who you picking? Who you tie breaking?
I think GT could, bring this home because seeing that SSJ4 Vegeta and Super 17 both can just take out 2 characters on their own. Just Baby hasn't been really doing that great unless he comes in and then I don't know, tags again or something like that, or just wants to hit an ult for some reason. And Cell and Sin have been they've been very on and off. I will just say RW because of consistency, but I'm not going to say GT. Is out of basically getting themselves a win. They can just do it.
Guys, hey Ryan, Let's Play is streaming. We can bombard his chat with Broly chants.
Yeah, we can protest. All right, so we're leaning RW here, but not by much. I before we move, I want to direct everyone's attention to the leftmost tier list, and Door, Semi-Cell is above Majin Buu and Buhan. Just wanted to say that. Okay. Next
You
match,
couldn't have
we
said
got...
this later?
No, I needed him to hear this.
I didn't hear
He
what he
had
said,
to
by
be-
the way.
Well, everyone else did, and that's what matters. We got Budokai Cold. I'm going Budokai. Cold needs to get humbled. They're gonna eat a humble pie. Des, who you got?
I'm a sick cold. Frieza's coming back in, most likely. Budokai, most likely early Goku, and it's just Cold has been really good. Yeah, they struggled this past week, but we've seen just based off the fact of if Cold wants to tag you out, they'll tag you out. So
Fair enough. All right, Donut, who do you got?
I like the Budokai, I do. I'm pulling for you to make it competitive, but I think Cold has too much firepower. GT Goku will be able to do some ults himself, but what you have in GT Goku, Cold has in three different characters and do the same thing. So it's well, what do you do, right? Yeah, Cold, we'll take it.
All right, Macho. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I love Budokai to death, but I mean, last week it was the tags that gave him the edge, but also 70k from Mecha Frieza is unheard of, and now you get a returning Frieza this coming week. It's tough week for Budokai, so I'd probably say Cold's getting it.
All right, let's round it out. Door, who do you got?
All right, update from the stream. Iron Fist is watching. Broly will not come back till next season if he's lucky.
yeah.
R.I.P. bro.
Push.
No Unchained there. He's with Ginyu in the lifelong prison. I'm gonna give it to Budokai because I need to get separation from Cold.
Hey, two votes for Budokai here, guys. You got this.
Days.
Base.
And you never know. Transformations don't matter if you're taking a super +2 Spirit Bomb to the face.
True.
That's true.
Next match, we got divisional time. Kaiju versus the Rats, the little rats.
Bardock's probably coming back in, and good Trunks for Rugrats.
I like both these teams. I like both these coaches, but I'm gonna give it to Rugrats, even though Tosh disses me. I'll support him.
How much Zenny does Tosh have this week? Anybody know? Can he
One.
boost again?
He has one Zenny, or technically two Zenny.
That's not
So
enough for
Kaiju,
He
closeout
could get a
specialist.
Power of Rage.
Kaiju still has some Zenny to waste if they want to. So
I'll go with Rugrats still.
I am going to say Kaiju actually, because Because, well, I don't know who they might be benching this week for all we know. Like, they could bench anyone. Except probably, and they could double bench Bardock if they wanted. I will say if Bardock is in, just, they could have Kid Ku starter. They could boost closeout specialist on Bardock. Who knows? They could honestly just do anything they want. I think it might be close, considering that, like, considering it's the divisional, Rugrats really just need win. And also try to close the gap and then get a lead over Kaiju. Like, I think Aurelie, Kid Trunks, and Goten will be. So, but I'm still going to say Kaiju. It'll be close though.
All right. Macho, who you got?
Rugrats. Tosh said that he recently changed Aurelie's build and that destroyed Sentai. So I like the build changes, and Kid Trunks and Goten are no sluts. So no matter how much Cell Jr. tries to destroy his team's chances, I think Rugrats will be taking it this week.
Who do you got, Door?
I think I'm gonna go with Kaiju. I just don't. They seem to be doing pretty good, and you got guys like Slug transforming. It's just gonna be really hard for Rugrats to punch through that.
Fair enough. I like that reasoning. Let's break this tie, Donut. Who will you decide? Who's getting the rose?
Who's getting the rose? Well, I'm back and forth on this. Aurelie looked really good. I'm not sure how well she'll do against, Kaiju characters. It is on Kaiju's home map, by the way, for this match. Which is important to factor in because that shuts down characters like Cell Jr. if they choose to keep him in.
They don't have a night map.
Oh, you don't have night map? Oh,
They don't have night map this season.
Wow, my bad.
They're breaking stereotypes, boys.
So
my bad.
the only 3 people on their team transform,
Sure,
and
yeah.
one of them is FA, but and the other 2 are still just as good without transformation.
Yeah. And I believe Scouter's probably gonna be benched for Bardock, would be my guess, if I was Kaiju. But I don't think there'll be enough. I think Rugrats will take it in a very close one. This will probably be the closest match of the week.
Dang. Okay. All right, Kaiju, you got this. Sounds like we're leaning there. Okay. Next match, Buu Saga versus the Derp Squadron. Door, what are we in for this week?
Well, got some interesting stuff. No boosts, not needing those.
I was gonna say, are you respecting your opponent?
Technically, this is our strongest lineup. We have Maj and Buu out.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see. I say technically, because Kid Buu last week struggled pretty heavily, but it's going to be pretty interesting. Obviously, you got Spopovich in. Spopovich has had consistently good seasons against Derp. Granted, he's had
Frost
a very good season in general.
Too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got pretty much a lot. Frost is like the main thing we're worried about, but not the only thing we're worried about. They obviously have guys. Dodoria obviously does pretty well. Salza always consistent. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be a pretty good match, but I'm pretty sure my team's just kind of goated this season now that we got Spopovich working.
Door, I hate that I'm picking you right now because you just said that, but I have to pick Buu Saga. So far we're 2-0 Buu Saga. Macho, who are you picking?
I always actually go Buu Saga because I always think their roster is so crazy. But actually, I think Derp takes it. I think there's some foolery that can happen this week. So, yeah, Derp wins in my eyes.
All right, 2-1 Buu. Destiny, who you got?
Only reason I'm picking Buu is I want separation.
Oh, so I see. Donut.
If not, I'd pick Derp.
Fair enough. Hey, Donut, 3-1 Buu. Who you got?
Yeah. So Frost coming in is a big help for Derp, and I'll make this pretty competitive. I don't think there'll be enough. I think Buu Saga has too much of an overall cohesive roster, and they'll take it.
Hey, we gave you a fighting chance, Dirt. We want you to win, but Door has us held gun by gun, and he's making us vote for his team.
No, he doesn't. Don't worry.
I have gun immunity.
Wait, how'd you get that? Oh my gosh, I feel so underprepared, dude.
Because I'm like you guys. He's not Android.
Speaking of androids, last but not least, we have androids versus Sentai. Donut, why don't you tell these plebeians what our master plan is here?
So we are benching 17 this week against Sentai. We have 2 boosts going on. We have 2 Power Rages. One Power Rage will be for 16, the other one for 19. We have slotted Cell in a spot where we predict that he will not be matching up headfirst against Jiren. We are predicting that Jiren will be in the 2nd or 4th slot based upon the preseason and main season lineups thus far. And we'll see how that goes. That will be 16 starting out for his usual build, then 19 on his usual, and then Cell and Tao to close it out.
As you know, we're both voting for androids because that is the
Obviously,
correct answer.
Obviously, I'm
But-
voting for the androids.
I'm curious what the other 3 of you think. Macho, who are you picking?
I know that one pick last week got you real salty, Anthony.
Well, you know, it just felt like it was a very obvious answer, and you picked against the grain. And you know, maybe you would have won if GT Goku was better. I don't know.
Well, no, other than that stuff, androids they have a good roster they're building upon. Sentai will be scary. They're gonna have both their big bads and that, but there's also a lot of flaws in Sentai, and I think androids is a team that consistent enough that can exploit that. So, going androids.
Right. Door, who are you picking?
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty close one, to be honest. Cell is, and I know you like from testing, but he's technically untested in terms of main league performances, right? So
That's true.
it is hard to say if he will do as well, and if he's on the build that you guys were doing at the end of testing, which was the defense build, there's also a chance that he just kind of struggles because, you know, his offense is in his kit, not in his Pataras. So there is, if he's not getting grabs off, then he's not healing. So it's just down to him basically meleeing because he doesn't have the best key. And it's not to say his key's awful. It's just, you know, there's not much there to help it. The point is that he transforms and he steals it. So it's just, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Sentai. I just think that they have 2 elite characters performing and you guys are just going to have to deal with it. You have 17, 16 has his moments, you know, there's a lot potential there, but the untestedness of Cell so far, because it's been a while since we've seen him, kind of leads me away.
Hey, we will see. Fair enough reasoning. Let's round out this final prediction, Destiny. Who do you have?
I actually agree a lot with Door here. The Cell is basically rather, again, untested, but like I'm also looking at benches here. Say a woman has not had a bench yet, so she probably is going to be the one out eventually, but and then it's like, yeah, they still have the guy in and I shit on her all the time, yeah, yada yada. But it's like that's still the core of Birder, Jiren, and Gohan, and which, as stated earlier, like Jiren and Gohan basically combined it did way over an elite performance. So like that, it's so scary. You guys have 17 out, which is probably for the fact of you guys want your stronger characters for the rest of the season. At least, yeah. So it's like, I think while Sentai probably still has like, they still have a fight to go against. I'm just gonna say Sentai.
Alright, we got 3-2 androids with Sentai. You got some supporters here for you, so we'll see how it plays out. I just want to say this was a great week of Capsule Cast, and I'm glad that all of you who are listening right now are listening. Make sure you like, sub, hit that bell notification, and join the Discord, please. We need people, and we love you. And join the league and chat it up, man. You guys have any final thoughts before we zoom on out of here? Final statements? You can say anything you want. Anything.
Not just. Don't just say to the
Say
league,
anything at all.
Say to the
Say
website, to
wubble
the
up a
Twitter.
dub.
Anthony, I'm literally talking here. Don't forget to check out also the website and the Twitter and our TikTok down below. And if anyone else doesn't have any final words, we start ending it.
Yeah, I'm asking. Do you guys have anything you want to say? Or are you just chilling?
I'm pass.
No, we're good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Alright. Hey, sick. Okay, well, thanks for getting on here, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.